took it away. Oh shit, we live. Don't wanna fly away. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh shit, I got the wrong date. Oh no, it's the right date. Arigato gozaimasu. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to your monthly peace report, Scorpio season 2023, the supernatural apotheosis of a lifetime. There is a part two, but part two is just so ridiculously and unnecessarily unnatural and not normal that it deserves its own title. But just know that what happens this year is going to kind of just extend. Let's just say that the apotheosis process of this year enables a base foundation for you to stand on, as if like you're transforming, and now this transformation gives you a new base. You're not going back anymore. It's like you have a new base level of just gloriousness that you pretty much effectively through the activation of your own habits and patterns, whether for good or for not, led to this. Okay. And then next year is, now that we have this new foundation, now we're coming into an initial perspective like, okay, this is a new level. I'm going to do this, or this is possible, or this is possible. That is the entire basis of 2024. And this is what's going to lead into the revolution of not just the elections, but getting ready for the new world order of 2025. Because what's going to happen is you're going to start to figure out, with this new level that I'm on, I can do this, I can do that. I could do this while I'm doing that and this and that. And then I can do this and that and that and this and that and that and this. And in the square to Neptune, you're going to realize, wait, they're lying to me about all this shit. Because now you're figuring stuff out on your own. You have activated a higher level of awareness than you have before. And with this increased understanding, you are breaking through and disillusioning you individually, along with everyone else collectively in their own way, creating puzzle pieces that will add together. And this is all going to happen like really ridiculously. And it's going to now give you a very chaotic perception of what 2025 and beyond is going to be. We don't know that yet. We do not know that yet. So be very, even myself, especially myself, you can trust me though. You can trust me though. Don't listen to me. You can trust me. But like, yes, be very wary of people who are telling you this is what's going to happen next year. This is what's going to happen in this many years from now. Know that their data is accurate, but their data being accurate does not mean that it's not subject to change like this, just like that, just like that. And no one's going to see it coming. Like next year, 2024, and I could be wrong, hold me to this. You might experience that it's been like this for a few years now. But I believe that 2024 is going to really be the first time in over 30 years that anyone actually is beginning to know what the fuck is happening. And that's why this I Told You So tour is so crucial. You are officially in part 2 of the coveted I Told You So tour. This is all to prepare for Sagittarius season, where we're going to party. Balls out to the walls out. And all that wildness. No, this is so very important. The receipt keeping in your heart as well as in the flesh, they're all getting ready to come in handy. And the most important thing about this Neptune disillusionment is that Neptune in Pisces is an influencer fog. That was temporary. All the bullshit that kind of came up out of nowhere, this is how you'll know. This is, and hopefully this will apply to people in your life or not. And hopefully this will, you okay? since 2012 to 2025, okay? All the shit that just kind of came up out of nowhere and just started changing shit, and it was just really strange to accept and weird that people would even consider this seriously. Everything that you can think of, from acts, entertainments, movements, narratives, all the stuff since 2012 that did not necessarily have a natural birth or coming through, 2024 and 2025, it's dead. It's going to burn out and fizzle out, and then boom, Aries, new era. Boom, straight like that. Versus things that coming into 2008 and 2012 came from a more natural place. And this is very important because a lot of that was also eccentric, quirky, ahead of its time, different. But you can tell the difference between the authenticity versus the delusion, the illusion, the psyop, and it's going to be very clear. And the reason why that's important is this 2024 disillusionment actually begins now. Scorpio season is the lever being switched that's going to transform your literal experience of this over the next 6 months. Code switch, Aries North Node, April 2024 activation that's going to have you initiate the infinity, bruh. Endgame 2. Infinity, gang. Okay. And this is the most important thing. If the internet ever does go out, thankfully, you have been given the tools that you need in order to thrive. Okay. This is the beautiful thing about Scorpio season. It's like it's going to reveal levels and layers to you that at the time of your inquiry couldn't be answered. There's certain questions that couldn't be answered because it was not contextually sensical to you. So to even give you the information would probably just do more to make you worry about some stuff that's not happening. So at a subconscious level, you're getting trained to do things, to be a part of a world or a period that is not what it seems right now. Okay. But some of you exist beyond just this dimension. So you not just feel and sense it, you exist in it, and you are in between worlds. So the reason why the greatest, I want to give you a very powerful analogy, and I think this is going to resonate very deep in your soul. Okay. First of all, Jamie Hernandez, I got your tarot card draw. So you're going to be the first person who I do a tarot reading for. I'm going to draw a tarot card. I see your question. If you click on the description box below, you'll actually see my Hipsy link. So for those of you who are live reading, there's I think 20 in the queue. So I'm only going to do like 20 of these at a time unless you do super chat, and I got you there too. But yeah, that being said, and I'll talk more about that later. But imagine certain experiences that you've had, and it's like that's it. It's clicked now. It's like you're building an arc. It's like this entire time you've been building an arc, especially over the past 2 to 3 years. 2020 and 2021 was not just a pandemic globally. Outside of that distracting mess and chaotic BS, it was a global activation of epic proportions. So like you were coming into the conclusion and completion. That was the most significant part about that. 2011 was where you, with the rest of the world, initiated an evolution cycle with Zeus. These are facts. The Jupiter conjunction in Aries. So by the time we entered 2020, we reached the completion phase of that evolution cycle, and also the karmic cycle, and also the Pluto cycle. It was, and then a 2-year Mars cycle. Like it was a once in a lifetime realignment of planets in an experience that will probably never have happen again. But now, relative to this evolution cycle that's coinciding these cycles, it was during the conclusion phase. That was 2020, 2021 was now the elite celestial level of this completion. And then 2022 was the final level of this completion, the transcendence. That we already finished that path. I gained the final perspective. I can now release unconscious habits because I'm no longer the transcendence is when I started to learn how to ride a bike. I used to be like, oh, I'm gonna trip. Now that I finished that cycle, I'm riding BMX bikes now. I'm riding automatic bikes. I don't have that nervous. It's auto nervous now. Like that's what we did 2022, guys. Because now 2023 is the year that we reinitiated this new cycle. And the reason why this is so important, first of all, this new cycle is within the apocalypse cycle and the tribulation phase that's going to bring in the new world order on God, on GP. The next 2 years, the next year and a half, coming into 2025, we are getting ready to see everything that you know about this world end. This peace report is not going to be like any peace report. The major part of this peace report we're going to talk about is Saturn in Pisces. You see, we're at the end of Scorpio season here, and Saturn is what? 0 degrees Pisces. We are getting ready to go in. It is the end of the world. Everything up until this point, okay, March, and I'm saying this like you want to get excited. This is the end of the old world. A lot of you who are born were born with programming and coding for a new world that's not here. If you've always felt displaced, versus some people who feel at home with the way things are because they were meant to be here. They were meant to bring this in so that you can bridge that. And that's not something that's always consciously understood, but it's the best way that I could put this into words. So for those of you who have that coding, you have that starseed intelligence, this is your time. This is the time you've been waiting for. You feel it. There's already a role for you to play. Okay. So very important. So some of you have not only been building the skills, and we're going to talk about Saturn, and that's the most important thing about this. Scorpio season coming into Sagittarius season in the end of the year is going to show you everything you've experienced over the past decade is nothing compared to what we're about to experience. This is what everything set us up for. March was when Saturn initially entered Pisces. So from March to now, Saturn started to end the world like, I'm about to end this bitch. The world's ending. Tell me I'm lying. Go back. People were like, oh my God, the world is starting to end. And then it retrograded. It's like, me. Hold on. I'm about to come back and fuck up this shit. Hold on. I had to finish some business in Aquarius. Hold on. I just wanted to let you know, like, what if you go back to March 2023. Tell me I'm lying. Tell me I'm lying. Saturn crept in like, what's up, bitches? I'm about to end this bitch. Bank crash. Like, what's up? I've been waiting to end this bitch. I've been hating since I was in Virgo 2008. Like, this is how I'm about to fuck this bitch up. This is how I'm about to fuck this bitch up. This is how I'm about to fuck this bitch up. Yup. Then it went into Sagittarius 2017. Like, I see it now. I knew I was going to fuck it up like this, but I see more into the meaning of why I'm about to fuck this shit up. It was crazy. Zeus had a whole beef with Poseidon. You probably missed it. 2022. Boom. And now it's in Pisces. Like, bitch, I was in this bitch last time, 1993. I'm back again, ho. And it retrograded. It's like, me. I'm going to come back. Guys, it's it. That's it. We don't have much time. It's over. This is it, guys. Like, there's nothing more we can do. You see this? Once we have that Sagittarius, listen, hold me to this. Because the God of War is already instigating. The God of War is here instigating. Tell me I'm lying. Once we have the 22nd and the 23rd of November, it is on like Donkey Kong. The last week of November. Trust me, this is the man that told you, hey, we're about to go through a full moon in Aries. This is the 2-week period to prepare you for war. This was before you heard this new thing they're spinning now in the news about war. Okay, trust me on this, B. The last week of November, I'm not the only one who knows this, but the last week of November, this square right here is about to set it off. This is going to show you, it's going to take everything you've been feeling over the past 9 months, and it's just going to wrap it together and be like, oh, this bitch is over. Oh my God. And you're going to watch it like a television show at first. Like, oh my gosh, this season is lit. This season is lit. Okay, let's get it. You ever watch a movie or a television show, and like the first season of the show or the first part of the movie is just kind of weird. It's just really kind of weird. It's just like, and it's a little mid too. It's just like, huh? Hold on, let's go. I'm going to break down 2023 for you. You ever watch like a show like season 1 is just a little mid? It's just like, huh? Like, it's a little weird. It's not what you were expecting at all. It's like you went in it like, okay, it's hopeful. You know what I'm saying? There's stuff you did that like you weren't expecting to do, but at the time, you didn't really think it as much. You're just looking at it, it's like, okay, this is picking up kind of slow. And then season 2 comes on, and it starts to pick up, but it's a little mid. It's a little mid, like compared to the previous show or the previous season. That was not season 1, but like the previous set of seasons. That was what's up. All right, you know what I'm saying? And then but like season 2 had like a twist. Season 2 had like a twist at the very end of season 2. There was like a twist, and you're like, oh shit, okay, this looks kind of interesting. So you're watching a movie, and like the first half of the movie is just like, all right, this is a little different. Like, I'm not really used to this, but all right, this is cool. And then at the end of the first half, there's this twist that suddenly gets you engaged. Like, oh shit, it's starting to heat up. Okay. And then season 3 happens. Bomb after bomb after bomb after bomb after bomb after bomb is dropped. You don't even have time to recover. You're on the edge of your seat like, no way. Oh my God. And now everything that happened season 1 makes all the sense in the world. It's like, I couldn't even have begun to think that thing that happened in season 1 is why this is happening now. And before you even have the ability to like recover another bomb and another bomb and another bomb, that's going to be how you're feeling November 22nd. Boom. Hopefully that bomb is not meant literally, because it could be, but like, yeah, this is very important because season 3, so this analogy, season 1, this applies to this year. Season 1, whereas for some people, if we're talking about individually, some people find different seasons different. Keep that in mind. But like season 1 was April, May, June. Season 2 was July, August, September. Season 3 is October, November, December. And season 4 is January, February, and March. Season 3 is it. Season 3 is the best season. And we're here. And we're here. And we're here. But you ever watch a movie that has a long setup? It has a long setup. It's like, what are you trying to do with this? Thank you. Like you're starting this, and then you're starting this, and now you're starting this. Like I was still just wrapping my head around these two plot points. Like these were two huge plot points, and now you're doing this and this too. Like this is a lot. So you're the first season, you're trying to like juggle all this shit, and then it starts to come together a little bit. But then there's more stuff. Like it starts to break through, but then there's more plot points. You're opening like, what are you doing? Like we didn't even answer the question of what happened in the first season. Boom, season 3. Oh, that's how you put it together. Oh, 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 shit. No. Oh, no way. Oh, that's about to be like everybody. The pure finesse. And the best part is that Libra season did this in front of your face. You didn't even know. You wish. You wish. Oh, thank God. I easily could have. Okay. Thank God I do not have neighbors below. That is so true. That is so true. So, like, basically, the best part about this is once we activated that new moon Libra eclipse, that's what kicked all of it off. And then we just had the full moon. So I'm going to explain to you how, like Son Goku, this Scorpio season is going to transform you beyond your limits. And it's going to give us a 5-month range so that basically by March, the end of season 4, you have room to wiggle around through your imagination. Like, wow, I've transformed my life. Oh, I can do this. I can be this. I can be that. And you're going to feel, you're just going to be like, wow. Boom, 2024, season 1. And it's ooh. Okay. So, guys, I want you to be excited because once again, okay, you are in part 2 of the I Told You So tour. Let me give you a proper introduction. The reason why I didn't want to introduce this into Libra season where it started is because you were busy telling people so. I didn't want to interrupt you. I don't want to disrespect you like that. But now that you've made it through the doors, let us prepare for Sagittarius. Let me let you know what this is. Let me let you know what this is. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to say on the count of 3, I told you so. 1, 2, 3. I told you so. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to the Told You So tour. See, they talked a lot of shit. A lot of shit. And you know what? You stood on business. 6 months ago, you stood on business. Look at you here right now, just being right and shit. Just being right as a motherfucker per usual. When they try to make you feel like you are delusional. They try to make you feel like you should be ashamed of yourself for being right. And now tonight, you're like, I told you so. I told you so. Coming soon to a theater near you. All right. Seriously, Sagittarius season, we're gonna show out. And so that's why the Scorpio season is very important, because we presented the receipts last month, put a doozy over people's head, gave them something to think about. Now we coming through and we added extra sauce. We added extra sauce, like that part, that part, that part. They needed time to now read deeper into the receipts, because now you just presented the receipts. You just fucked their world up, square to Pluto. So like they still have to accept that their reality that they were thinking was real, was right, is it's not, it's over. And that's where now you have to come through, all right? Because you technically stuck the knife in, you know what I'm saying? Libra season. Now this is where you have to come through and twist that knife, like, feel that, feel that, feel that, feel that. I need you to feel that. Do you feel that deep in your soul? Do you understand? Do you understand? Do you get the meaning, the deeper meaning behind, how Scorpios always want to know the deeper meaning behind you. Do you get the deeper meaning behind these receipts? I need to show you the layers. I need to show you the layers of what these receipts apply to. Twist the knife. Twist the knife. Mind you, you're putting the knife, you're putting that knife in the people who willingly jumped you. You're putting that, I don't care if they're friends, family, loved ones, people you know, people you don't know. Those people joined up with 50,000 other people and jumped the shit out you, like, yeah, what's up? Yeah, you gonna stand on that? What's up? What's up? So like, in no way, when I say twist, they not gonna do you like that. I'm mad for you. They not gonna do you like that. When I say twist, you twist and feel that. Yes, I wanted you to feel that. They're gonna be expecting mercy, and you're going to mercifully make sure they get it. You're not there. They thought you were just gonna give them the receipts. No. The third part of the I Told You So tour is where we now take the receipts and synthesize it. It's like, see, you're gonna literally show them what the receipt means. That's the final part. Like, see, I told you so. So Libra season that we just did is A, B, C, D. Remember how I told you A, B, C, D, right? Well, look at the receipts. A, B, C, D. Boom. That's part one. And now part two, Scorpio, is I told you so. Got to break that in. Got to break in the depth. Really go in. And then Sagittarius season is now see, look. I told you so. Yo. And then season 4 coming into January, February, March is going to tie in everything so ridiculously. So everything that happened this summer is going to make all the sense in the world during the winter. And like, depending on how you transform through this Scorpio season, it will determine whether come that time you are completing rewards or you're having to make up for a deficit that you weren't able to complete. The 10th house or Capricorn season is evidenced by the end of the year. You can look at like seeing if you need to re-up, if you can re-up, or if you need to pay back the plug, or you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Oh, damn it. You know what I'm saying? Like, basically balance what you may have lacked. Now, the cool thing here is there are certain fundamental features to this transit that will really account for all the unconventional, hippy-dippy ridiculousness that you are going to see here. Christian Dixie, I got you, bro. Okay. And I'm going to break down a lot of how that kicks off. It's this opposition. It's literally this week and next week that's gonna symbolically be the anchor lifting and you really going on this I told you so tour. Especially if it was like a cruise to the underworld that like ends with a concert. Okay. It's like you're taking a cruise to a concert, right? Well, that cruise portion is Scorpio season. And, it's where things get super intense. All right. So I've shown you the end of Scorpio season, which is going to feature a trine to Aries. I'm telling you, Sagittarius season is going to kick off with such a bang. You just have to be there. It's going to be very faded. Venus is going to be making its way on the South Node. Everything relative to your mind, your desire, and your awareness, eclipsing these points was to prepare for your heart to be able to handle what's finna happen. Some of you are finna get your hearts completely eviscerated. You're gonna get your heart super broken because you were given the red flags and you've seen the proof before. Like the sun has gone through here. There's certain relationships you might have been hoping for, or there's certain like connections that just don't necessarily seem like they're meant to move forward, or maybe someone you might have hoped to be with, or you might not be taking seriously a connection with someone you are meant to be with, and you've seen it. The sun was there, you've seen it. Once Venus goes there, if you're still trying to cling to that old shit, blah, uh, uh, please don't do it to yourself. Please don't do it to yourself. Versus if you've seen it and you've already accepted what it is, you're about to be Gucci. It's not even at this point about being receptive. You're going to be so Gucci. Like it's going to straight shot you into the next direction. Because what this really represents is it's not exactly like this, but the best way I can say is imagine if your love life ran a cast of 3 seasons. Like imagine if you can go towards the past 3 years since October of 2020 and your love life was like a 3-year season piece. Even if 3 years ago you're coming into that 2020 in an established relationship, not uncommonly over those 3 years, some of you came in with a relationship and you're coming out single. Some of you came in single and you're coming out in a relationship. Some of you came in single, you're coming out single. Some of you came in a relationship, you're still in a relationship. There were challenges in the relationship or being single. Okay. So this is where personally, now that season is done. Okay. Those last 3 years, it's very important because you might be looking forward thinking that anything as a part of the last 3 years is going to carry forward. It's done skis. It didn't get its season renewed. The shit was trash. I'm not trying to say your love life is trash. I'm sorry. I'm trying to say I'm trying to say collectively. They canceled. The majors canceled on it, but no, realistically, it was only meant to last 3 years. It was only meant to last 3 years, and if it was cool enough, they'd get an extension, but it was never meant to go more than 3 years. And I'm not talking about a relationship. I'm not trying to say unless it could for some of you. Some of you personify it. But okay, this 6-month process is the process between you reinitiating a new season series. It's going to be so fucking lit and so amazing. Okay, so like I feel you. Mine was. I don't want to say mine was trash. I didn't even have one. I didn't even have one in order for it to be trash or not. No, that is hilarious. Thank you. And Venus was like, y'all love life is trash. And not, and hold on. Venus is saying this for you. Venus went out there to try and find suitable mates for you. And Venus is coming through like, I ain't gonna hold you. This shit was trash. I apologize. Venus never misses. So Venus kind of feels personally indebted to you that like she worked all her magic. She carried all the stuff. She did everything right, but the person would fuck up. Or like someone wouldn't show up right. And it's just, and now you're looking at Venus like, really, Venus? Like, I thought you were the goddess of love. Why is my shit looking funky? And Venus is just like, honestly, I've never seen this type of shit before. This is wild trash. This is crazy. So listen, y'all don't understand. Venus is good at this. Venus is very good at this. So like, she's not gonna let you. She already has in the back. She has already hooked you up. Like now that we've gotten out of this filler, whatever, this news cycle is going to make up for everything you experienced. And the thing that's really misleading about it, this is where I want you to see the Pluto square. The Pluto square is like an axe on the south node. Because realistically, you would think, well, clearly, like the things that I learned the past few years are gonna apply so I can grow the. Nope, shit was wild trash. Like you, if anything, just quickly leveled up, do it. Like you're stepping into something completely foreign, completely new. Venus is now what Venus learned, really, and what she taught you, because it's not what Venus learned, it's what Venus taught you. Venus taught you that you are not for everybody. Now, is that a lesson that anybody can learn? We learn that every day. But this is what Venus wanted to hone in on. She was putting you in all these situations so she could show you, is this what you're worth? Really? You deserve this? Really? I think you're better than this. Yeah, right? Okay. And then Venus would give you someone even higher level. Really though? Is this what you're worth? I think you can do better. Boom. She brings in someone even higher level. This is nice. Thank you. See, this one actually knows how to make you feel. You know what I'm right? You know what I'm saying? Like they're like 90% of it is just amazing. You like it, right? Cool. Is this what you really want though? Venus was fucking with you. Venus was fucking with you. She making sure you're right. Is this what you really want though? You just want 90%? You just want someone that makes you feel great. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't think you can do better than this? And now you're starting to be like, do I even deserve better? You know you deserve better. But now you're like, wait, but isn't this out here trolling, boy? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Boom. Brought the 100%. And whether that was conceptually an idea or in real life, well, it's always in real life, but like, or, physically, it's like, here you go. This is the model. This is what it looks like. You like that? I know you like that. It's me, Queen Venus. What's up? You know how I do. And then looked you dead in the eye. And mind you, this was the Venus retrograde. So this part specifically was Venus coming out of its retrograde relative to like August, September. Looked you in the eye and said, 100% complete. That's what you want. Venus got you exactly what you want. You could say it completes you. Looked you in the eye and said, is that what you want? Really? Really? I mean, don't get it twisted. This is the best for you. Is that what you want? And that's when I got offended. Like, yes, that is what I want. The fuck you mean? The fuck you mean? Yes. Is there anything wrong with it? No. I'm just saying, really? Like, that's it? That's it? What do you mean is that it? Yeah. Remember, this is the goddess of being like stacks on stacks on stacks. So this is the South Node lesson for you. Coming into, now that you have more experience, stay in your lane, Venus. Venus is asking, do you want to commit, be content? Contentment is not complacent, but I don't want to say settle. Do you want to enjoy this 100%, or do you want to trust Venus and see what she's talking about? Because Venus is like, I think you can do better. This is now at this point, Venus is like, now this ain't gonna be what you're used to. Everything up until this point, I showed you the 100% of what is beautiful for you, and now Venus wants to take you a little bit beyond, like way beyond your comfort zone. Like, this ain't gonna be what you used to, but I think I think this is it. I think this is it. So that's going to be the main decision. Please understand there is not a wrong decision. Contrary, well, I don't know if it's a popular belief, but it's not like if you choose this, this will happen. You could do whatever you want. But I want you to notice those themes because that's going to really echo very powerfully. Stand up. You know, Venus wants the best for you. But realistically, the richer and more successful you are, the more she is. So it's a little selfish incentive. No, I'm joking. But like, yeah, we love you, Venus. And for all of you who said that your love life was trash, your love life was trash because you don't accept filth. I want to make sure we're very clear. You guys are actually attractive people. I don't have to see most of you in person to know that most of you are attractive people. I'm not going to say that there are things that we're all working on ourselves that we're not. But the reason why your love life is trash is because you hold your love life to a much higher standard than the garbage that's being presented to you. So that was Venus's main test. If your love life was trash, then you need to be excited because it's about to be pure gourmet amazingness. Okay. Yeah, for me it was non-existent. I didn't even have a I'm in Gemini land in my head arguing with space ghosts 25/7. So I don't even have time for hoes. I'm practicing my sword techniques, but it's cool because even us. No, no. Oh shit, yes. Um, yeah, this is really beautiful. Um, you clear another factor to this too, that and I forgot to even go into the analogy. Another factor of this too is that you were not aware of the countering energies around you. Some that you would refuse to believe. So it's almost as if you came into a lot of certain things now, you are around people, you are around circumstances that would pick it apart or away from you. Nothing has power over you in that sense, but like they were opposing influences during a transitionary period that could really influence the way that this connection with a thing or a person grew versus now where you are more aware than ever who you can trust with any kind of information and how you behave with other people. This just recently got updated. So it's like, oh, wow. 3 months ago, I would have broken bread with someone now who's blocked me or we're not on speaking terms. You feel me? So, like, everything, the celestial beings went out of their way to hook this up for y'all. That's all I'm going to say. And I'm not just talking angels. So, the analogy that I want to give you guys that I was going to say, but I Gemini zoned out because I guess that's just what I do these days, but don't worry about that, is that personally, you have been developing supernatural skills and abilities. And the best part about this revolution is you're going to realize that your ability to live this experience is unparalleled. Don't ever let I know people call me a hype man, but I'm not trying to be your hype man. These are facts. I want you to understand this as just acceptable facts. No one can live this reality like you. You are I hate that that sounds like a compliment. I'm not trying to compliment you. I'm gonna be completely honest. Like nobody can do what you do. Nobody can breathe air like you. Nobody can have ashy lips like me. You know what I'm saying? Nobody can like you can't slam your hand on the wall stupid like this like me. That's what I have. Nobody can take a number 2 like you. I know that that sounds weird, but you need to really value that. You can literally put that on a resume. Like with all due respect, sir, I promise you that you can't take a dump like me and you can't piss like me. And you can say it with a certain type of confidence that really, exudes that you really know yourself. Not that you know what you're saying, that you know yourself. Okay, so like it's really important because let's just assume that a system is in place right now that reinforces the disconnection and disillusionment or desensitization between you and your spirit self. Okay, be fucking for real. Okay, you cannot have a runny snot boogered nose like me. Okay, do you know I have no game. I walk up and I be acting lame. You can't be lame like me. You ain't got no game like me. You don't get no bitches like I don't get bitches, motherfucker. Okay? Like, why don't people brag like that? There's a reason why people do not brag like that, and there's a reason why if you were to just say that, people will look at you weird. You need to be weirder than that. That's all I'm gonna say. You ain't as lame as me, motherfucker. I do this internet shit, motherfucker. I don't even go outside. I don't need y'all be going outside, living real lives. I don't do that shit. Hell, get nobody do that shit like me. Okay? Cause that's goofy behavior. But like, goofy to who? That's goofy to you. First of all, everything is goofy to Virgo. Fun fact. Literally everything is goofy to Virgo. Like 99.9% of shit does not even impress these motherfuckers. It's goof. So you gotta put things in context. You have to put things in context. Know where these, perspectives are coming from. Yeah, maybe they're right because they're the realist and it probably is goofy, but like that's through their perspective. All right. Okay. So I just wanted to say, first of all, you know what I mean? Like, really, really take stock of how no one else can do you like you can do you. All right. That's the most important thing. So the reason why I'm saying that is, and this is what makes me so happy and so hopeful. What if I'm going to use an analogy. I'm going to tell a story. Like we're at a campfire. That's all I do. I tell stories. I want to tell you a story. I want to speak in parables, right? What if you were building an ark? That's the best way I can say. Since March, you've been building an ark. You've been working towards something that doesn't really seem to have any benefit, considering or relative to the way the system and structure of how things are built and flow. Because if it's not broke, don't fix it, right? Um, it's just really weird that you're doing what you're doing. And maybe there were some days that you're working at something. It could even be as conventional as just like working out in the gym. There could either be some days where it's like you question why it is you're doing what you're doing, why it is you're being woken up at 4 a.m. or 3 a.m. to think these thoughts, to ponder these things, to do this subconscious work that you may not even realize is subconscious work. And now the 3D external reality around you reinforces the opposite. You're being told you're an idiot for building this ark. What, you think there's going to be a flood? You're stupid. You're delusional. What, are you stupid? What, are you delusional? Boom. There's a system reinforcing these perspectives. There's media outlets that now share this throughout to, of course, influence and condition how people think, how people perceive things. Cool. So now, right, let's use the analogy of your spirit self and connecting with your spirit self and connecting with, when I say spirit self, don't take that too literally. I'm using spirit self as an analogy to mean the non-material metaphysical aspect of yourself that exists beyond and outside of this dimension, that is conscious through you here. You are literally its 3D self. You are its physical avatar to which it can think through you, it can have feelings through you. But mind you, this is a facet of yourself that exists, that can sense outside of what's happening, that can give you feelings, that you can channel feelings through your physical self that you receive as insights and send as insights. Cool. Now, what if you have been told and conditioned, whereas before you weren't always conditioned like this? Before, in ancient culture, you were conditioned through rituals and ceremonies to incorporate this spirit self and go about your way. What if you were conditioned to believe that you don't have a spirit self, you're just a physical battery, and you're meant to work, live this creed that we reward, work, and you can believe that in fantasy. We're gonna show you, movies to stimulate your imagination, but like that's not really real. Cool. And if we condition it, even if you believe it, Gabriel, welcome, Gabriel, right? Um, it's welcome to the Eternal Vibe Tribe. It's still almost very difficult to really embrace that. Okay. So now you are a troublemaker. You haven't been listening to authority. You have been connecting with the super. So you're so strongly connected to your spirit self. You can't go a single day without it getting your attention. Like some of your spirit selves be doing the most, like 444 777. Yo, tell this motherfucker 777. And now the person you're talking to is like, oh, by the way, I got this text at 777. Listen to me. Like some of your super cells be doing the most. And now to your defense, it has to do the most because you're around agents and secret spies who are deliberately paid to distract you at certain moments. To make like you were priority over certain other people because they had to make sure you didn't have access to your super self. Like you have a special connection with it. So it was going out of its way. No offense, some of your super selves had to put you through a near-death experience. It was the only way you would get out of that job. It was the only way you would get out of that relationship. It was the only way you would have actual personal time to be one-on-one with it. Boom. And so you have been getting cool with your super or your spirit self, okay? And this non-material metaphysical aspect of yourself outside of your physical body does not have a template for which to actually exist in a system that was specifically built to cut off your access to it, to literally create an artificial matrix on nature so that you are completely limited to this. Now, the reason why I'm saying this is when people talk about the revolution, when people talk about war breaking out, when people talk about what do I need to do to get ready? What do I need to do to prepare for this? You can prepare for this as much as you want. You can stock up on as much as you want. There's no preparing for what's coming. You don't have to prepare for what's coming because everything that you have been doing has been excess preparation for everything that is coming up. So let's say, like Elisha Eternal brought up in the beginning, if the internet goes down right now, you have to think that everything that you have learned for the past few decades has prepared you for this moment. And now the systems that we relied on, which put us in this perpetual state, If they're down, here's the analogy. Let's say the system that was subduing you or limiting you is now down. Connection to your spirit self that you have been cultivating is extra exponentially amplified, because now what everyone, now you having to go to a job, having to do this, having to do that. Well, if the economy crashes and now everyone all around the world doesn't have to work a job because there's anarchy or there's something transitionary, you're going to find that now your connection with your super self is exponentially enhanced with this analogy. Let's just use this analogy. You can literally now use your mind with telepathy. Everything that you have been, you can almost think as this system as Rock Lee's weights. And once the system collapses, and once the system crashes, that's if it even does, it's very possible we might just see a transformation of everything that we're doing. Everything just updates. I'm just saying hypothetically, there's going to be some anarchistic revolution. That's probably very unlikely. But just using this extreme example, let's say that that's the case, because I'm with it. I don't really care whether it happens or not. But it's a really good example because it's actually what happened the last time Pluto was here, the French Revolution or Haitian Revolution. So, like, let's just say that happened, right? You're going to know you're going to know as it goes. A lot of the things that weighed you back that you had to take care of, you're going to be at the right place at the right time to literally use the skills you learned. Always have that understanding. Don't get racked. I'm not going to tell you other things, but like, you're not going to need to get racked with uncertainty, because that's all this is it. The true internet is within. And the connections that you've made with people were not for no reason. So just really keep that in mind. You really want to step into this like so confident, so confident. And that's why they're going to need to hit you with disinformation and be like, this is happening here. Worry about this. This is happening here. Worry about this. There's nothing you need to worry about. We already won. We already won. And it's easy to say that as a spiritual statement. It's a different thing to live that when everything in your 3D reality is telling you to do this and to be who you're not. And you fight that fight to maintain authenticity. Those of you who do that, you've already won before the war even starts. Boom. All right, cool. Now that we've got that out the way, this Scorpio season is most importantly the uncovering and the unlayering of this transformation. I want to introduce a mechanic that many of you know greater than I do at my baby Gemini awareness. And how this is going to affect. So we talked about your natural physical self and we talked about your spirit self. Okay. I'm going to give you an equation. And the equation that I'm giving you is more hypothetical, theoretical. When I say this is going to click a gear into you. Some of you might hear this and be like, bullshit. And that's important. Some of you might hear this and you actually know the true equation. You're going to know what I'm trying to say. Or maybe I'm saying it spot on. So just keep that in mind. I want you to look at the moon in Gemini right now. I'm going to do the peace talk tomorrow for that. I'm sorry. I'm going to do the magic moon message tomorrow for that. Ice cold water. Happy birthday to the coldest motherfuckers in existence. I had to be 30 to learn that Scorpio is the coldest motherfucker ever. Scorpio is the coldest zodiac sign ever. The coldest. Ain't nobody colder than Scorpio. And I mean that positively and negatively. Like, damn, that motherfucker cold. My bad. Okay. Ice. So yeah, no, for real. So your natural self, right, we can say is the raw Aries Taurus definition. Interesting. All right. We don't even have to break it down like that. We have your natural self and your spirit self. So the equation I want to give you is your natural self interfaces with your spirit self in a sense where you want to actually invert it. And this is something I feel like Sagittarius, Aquarians, and Pisces, and the top half of the zodiac do inadvertently or consciously, but it is what it is. So basically, and maybe the suns might be more aware of this really, but like your spirit self interface, because now the enlightenment and awakening prepare for this integration. An awakening is post transformation and apotheosis that unites both selves together and connects it multidimensionally. So enlightenment, in a sense, is coming out of Plato's cave and realizing that you are not your physical self. You, as you grow and develop more consciousness through your brain function, and then now understanding your emotions with that, and now developing behavioral patterns, you recognize through enlightenment that you are not your physical self. You are a spiritual being having a physical experience, having a physiological nervous experience, nervous system experience. That is enlightenment. This is where you now start to enlighten yourself to the nature of your spirit. And this is where you officially become Delulu, because according to science, you don't have a spirit. You don't have a spirit. Everything that you think that applies to your spirit, to postmodern materialist reductionist science, is just literally a delusion of your mind. And the weird thing about it is it actually is. It technically is a delusion. But the incorrect error is to say that that delusion isn't real or doesn't exist, which by the mere nature of the meaning of delusion, you would think it's not real. But it's a delusion in the sense that you're tapping into a phenomena, energy, experience, perception beyond the physical. And so to process that is going to feel delusional because it's unreal. It's the best way I could put that into words right now. But you are a spiritual being with a mind that is processed by a brain contained in a body. That is literally spirit science. Okay. Your soul is the container of that vessel that is powered by your spirit, which powers this computer or device you're watching, the soul of the memory of the device you have. And then the body of it is the body of the device. So basically, your spirit self is the shit. If you want a reading with me, anytime you get a natal chart reading, I'm pretty much helping you understand how your spirit self connects with your soul and natural self. Okay. And people can get frustrated because they don't understand. When you start to tap into your spirit self, it at an unconscious frequency, because we emanate frequencies, obviously, that are imperceptible to us, but we still sense. So like when you tap into your spirit self, to normie motherfuckers who don't know anything or want to acknowledge their spirit, because there's nothing wrong with being ignorant, but being willfully ignorant and not opening your mind to that, this is where you start to, at an unconscious level, make these people uneasy. Because now you're not identifying in the 3D mortal realm where you can be manipulated. You're realizing that identifying with that is a fallacy. And realizing the truth of your spiritual nature, the fact that, which now implies that after this physicality is over, your spirit travels beyond your body. This is what science fundamentally rejects. But they're stupid for rejecting that and thinking that you need any kind of physical evidence for that. Sorry, cool. So other than that, okay, relative to this realization, people who have not enlightened themselves to that are the ones who blow up very uncharacteristically and start to demonize you. They are not aware of the demonic possession that that ignorance is facilitating. So to them, they don't think that they're doing anything wrong by berating you, guilt tripping you, shaming you, because it is an unconscious, dark psychological tactic to bring you back down into the physical, to weigh you into this false perception. So, the way that everyone interfaces with their natural self, this is the most important thing. You don't have a spirit self. That's really the whole point of what I was saying. You really don't have a spirit self. You are the spirit self. You have a physical self. You have a physical body that has a mind of its own moods, okay? Its own reflections. This is what it means to go within, right? And basically, your super self, right, is now, when we talk about your super self, you have the interfacing of your natural self and spirit self, right? You can see it as two different selves. So you don't have to identify with just one or the other. But basically, the physical self is the spirit self's eyes, ears, and physiology, natural senses. And now the spirit self, you can now project your awareness and conscious through thought and imagination to now access insight that you cannot be at physically, whether by going to the astral realm unconsciously, subconsciously, or being able to access extra dimensionally through extra sensory perception. It is a thing, all Pisces have it, extra sensory perception, to now gain information that now your physical brain can process. Okay. So everyone has their own unique way with which they interface that. However, your super self is now taking your natural self and your spirit self and multiplying it together or adding it together, right? But we can say your super self, let's say your ability is your natural plus super self. And then your natural versus physical self. And then your super self is your natural times your spirit self. Hopefully that speaks to you. It doesn't have to, you don't have to really worry about that. But the concept of now taking your spirit self, taking your physical self, and fully aligning it now anchors your spiritual, metaphysical, supernatural, if anything, nature, and augments your physicality. Instead of relying locally on it, now it's like you took an NZT pill. Now it's like aligned. You're harnessing. Cool. So what if that state, what if that whole phenomena was hidden in plain sight? What if it's something that was deliberately not taught to you? Because, and I don't, when I say that, I don't mean that in the sense where a group of, school providers were like, we're not going to teach these kids that. Because if you think it's on that level, you're clueless. Like we're talking about levels beyond what you can even perceive mentally. So like this doesn't have to be like an evil board member room of human adults that are like, we don't want human beings to, we don't want these kids to know. Like none of us could even be aware that this is happening. I just kind of want to present this concept because the dramatic, unconventional fashion with which you are going to uncover and unpeel the layer to everything that you have magic Jack Beanstalk the past 6 months will shock you. And if you understand that you've been preparing for this your whole life, it's going to be a lot less shocking and a lot more exciting. Meddling kids. Elisha, I know you're not saying that. Pisces, I know no Pisces sun or moon is talking about they want to be a real life anime character. You have to be trolling. You have to be trolling. That is crazy. Okay. So the moon is in Gemini right now. Okay. We are just kicking in this transit. We're 7 degrees in. And the first 10 days of Scorpio season, I think, are one of the most important. Because, bro, can you believe this man? This man is talking about, I want to be a real life anime character. The only man I know that is like on the internet doing real life telekinesis with a robe and a scarf on. What universe do you live in? Are you not? Was I looking at it? Are you not an anime character already? Like I thought you were I thought you were like the ultimate like fantasy. Like I could understand if you were faking it. You're really doing real life telekinesis, robed up, looking mysterious as fuck. How are you not already an anime character? I'm trying to get like you, B. Oh God, I'm trying to get like you. Like shit, I'm trying to fucking put in that type of work. Shit, I'm trying to shit, especially with the threads. Please don't say something like that. You're throwing me off here. You're throwing me off here. Anyway, my bad. So yeah, this is really important because 7 days ago we kicked in Scorpio season. The first 10 days of Scorpio season is the first decan. So we're gonna break down the decans. The reason why this is so important is once we come into the 10th day and we step into the second decan, that's going to oppose Jupiter, and that's where shit is popping off. We are in a transition period to really pop off the I told you so tour. And it's just to really structure and get stuff straight. So the first part about this transit is Saturn retrograding and getting ready to go direct. I think the beautiful thing about this is the entire Scorpio season, Saturn is going to be 0 degrees. It's going to station, it's going to go direct. And then right when the sun enters Sagittarius, it's ready to end the world. And everyone around the world is going to have their popcorn and they're going to see what's going to happen over the next 6 months. So like everything that happens today is so much more intense than everything that set it up. Everything that happens during this season. Okay. So now, before we talk about the end of the world, because I want to take a major part to do this, Scorpio season 2023 is the supernatural apotheosis. Apotheosis is a process that I like to think we all do every year, given the meaning of the word, in whatever way it may apply. We all go through a transformation. Not every transformation is an apotheosis, but we all transform every year, right? We just as simple as the fact that every year we develop new habits and we apply those habits, whether good or bad. And in a certain sense, it transforms us for good or for better over the span of however long, but in this case, 6 months to 6 months. The nature of how we're doing this year is supernatural. And it's an apotheosis. It's going to transform the nature of your genetic makeup. It's going to release latent energy that you have been building up for years. And this is where that South Node Libra is going to take the social, collective, mainstream rhetoric over the past 3 decades, and if anything, centuries, and throw it in the trash. If you're trying to compare your experience to peer-reviewed research journalism, that is so high up on its ass of worldly wisdom, to think that it knows anything about the metaphysical or spiritual, you're going to be disappointed. You're going to be misled. You're going to really hold yourself back. So just keep that in mind. There are radical concepts that for the next 30 years are not even going to be begun to be understood that you want to stand on and own as your own. Do not let, and the North Node in Aries is challenging you. Do not let anyone tell you how you make sense of what you're going to be making sense of. Do not let anyone with a false sense of ethos feel like their experience or expertise means that they can bring their unrelated experience to what you're experiencing. We're all students in this, okay? Even if you see me doing that. Just saying that. Very important. Cool. So with that being said, this transformation is going to prepare you to now ascend and break through in Sagittarius as you uplift your perspective to see how much you've not only grown and evolved, but now transform your natural physical senses because you've gone through supernatural transformation. That because Uranus and Taurus are in Taurus, because Jupiter and Uranus are in Taurus, you have to think, and this is why I'm saying if you're born in the 80s or 70s, it's going to be the most dramatic. But you have to think that this is not just a Taurus transit. This is, since 2008, the cycle that started in Scorpio, harvesting. Since the 80s, the cycle that started in Uranus, harvesting. So that's why the nature of this transformation over the next 2 years is going to have the most dramatic, unexpected effect on your physical body. It's not like a transformation that just transforms your behavior. The quality of your body is going to start producing itself. And how your body produces these effects are going to be unique to everyone. It's going to be also dependent on your genetic heritage and the inherited techniques from ancestors that you may not even know you have, but will start producing themselves more. Everything up until now has just been like a sneak peek that you were able to get the full picture of until now that this is really being expanded. So now let's talk about the 3 decades of Scorpio. I'm so sorry. Someone had asked earlier on, is this going to be available for replay? This live stream is, of course, Infinity Club exclusive. And I am going to be following this up with the tribe reports coming over the next couple of days. So we will break down, of course, what these transits mean per sign. If you are Infinity Club, you will be able to access the replay. If you are not, it's cool. You will be able to catch this live. I'm going to do these at the same time every day this week. Okay. So with that being said, the first decan of Scorpio is Pluto. It's Hades. This first decan nuances or brings you into the depth of nuance to completely and extremely, let's just say, burn and transform any impurities. What this is going to look like is being poisoned, okay? Any impurities that you have, the first 10 degrees of Scorpio, is going to really show itself in either straight sabotage or things just fucking up instantly, progressing over those next 10 days, which will show you a lack of purity in those areas that need to be dealt with instantly. If there is purity, if over the past 3 months you did the work and like you took care of that, then instead of things fucking up, they're going to miraculously start to transform and intensify very miraculously, very, very, very purely. Okay. This is what brings us to the second decan, 10 degrees to 20 degrees Scorpio, or we can say 11 degrees to 20 degrees Scorpio, or 10 degrees to 19 degrees Scorpio. Okay, we'll say 10 and 19. So basically, this is the decan of Neptune. After the intense awakening of this energy and intensity, the next 10 days is going to bring the transcendence of perspective. Now that you have been awakened to this wisdom, you're going to understand what it means. You're going to now start to explore the meaning behind it. Okay. And then the third decan and final decan is the moon, ruled by Cancer. Once you've now dug through this deeper wisdom and occult awakening, and then Neptune is now showing you synchronicities to make sense of it, the moon is going to now give you the full, deepest understanding of every nuance and layer, and how you personally, in the passionate final degrees of Scorpio, coming into this intensified awareness, can direct how you're going to feel towards this and how you reflect this psychological dominance of the smackdown you're going to lay down on your opposers and ops. Let's now put this in context. The first decan of Pluto is going to involve the trine to Saturn. So this is going to, during Pluto's decan, as it initially, let's use the analogy of a pool. The first decan Pluto is literally using a jackhammer to create a deeper pool, right? It's like, you know what? This pool is too shallow. And now you're going to use a jackhammer with Pluto and completely destroy it. Like, And then Neptune is like, okay, how the fuck do we want this to look? How deep do we want this? And you need to imagine this. It's like, do we want this super deep? Do we want this to be this deep? You're literally architecting it through your imagination. You're coming into the understanding of cool. And then the third decan is you now start to feel. We can say that could be like the construction. You now start to get a literal feel and understanding of what needs to be done to, of course, construct this. Or at least feel that. That's the analogy. Pluto digging that deep is you feeling deeper. It's you coming into a deeper, more unconscious understanding. What do you have here? And then by the moon, the third decade, you're coming into a full understanding of this new depth, of this application of these new behaviors. Okay. Transformers. So now this first decade where we're, coming into this wisdom, what's happening? The sun is trining Saturn. The sun and Mercury and Mars trining Saturn are like checkpoints. This is the part where you're getting ready to come into the wisdom and now break through this integration of how we're at the end of this cycle and how the beliefs you have been integrating are putting yourself in a position to now ascend, transformational ascendancy. And this is with great specific and precise wisdom, showing you the next step, showing you what it means. This is what everything you're going to see in Sagittarius. All right. The retrograde motion coming to a station is the grace period ending. So this is like a cutoff point. And now this is ready for you to now produce the next level of everything that you have been awakening within yourself. This is for real when you really start. Sagittarius is when you see it, but this is where you see it before you see it. It's like you don't have to see it, but you still feel it. And that's what's going to be confirmed Sagittarius season. So as you can see, the moon is in Gemini. Now that we've done the full moon video is available. It is public. So if you watch the full moon, I break down the next 2 weeks. For those of you who won't be able to access the replay to this peace report, I want you to watch the full moon in Taurus video I just did. I broke down the next 2 weeks ahead. And the moon in Gemini right now is getting ready to literally transform what and how you think about this transformation, because now the moon in Taurus has already manifested the physicality of it. This is now giving you an initial mental understanding of what the fuck this is. This is you understanding how to think about it. And this is where it gets juicy, because now that the moon is trining Saturn, remember, Saturn does not believe in you in Pisces. Neptune believes in you in Pisces. This is the analogy I want to give you. Pisces, hypothetically, represents your dreams of being a superstar. Well, Neptune believes in you. Neptune is like, you can do it. You can do whatever you want. I believe in you. Keep your dreams up. Saturn does not believe in you, B. Saturn is like, all right, how the fuck you gonna make this work? Are you even that talented for real? Like, I'm sorry, I'm just not believing it. Actively testing you. And that challenge is there, so you stay on your toes. Saturn is on your ass. It's not just gonna believe you just because you want to. That's what Neptune is for. Neptune will almost believe you in a way that could be very delusional and enable you. Saturn is hating on you like a car standardization. Like, I need to test every part of this car before we mass produce this to the public so we don't get sued. Okay. So every time you've been interfacing with Saturn, it is every mutable moon saying like, hey, prove it. And it's putting you in these tests so that you reinforce these beliefs. The clashes with Saturn is like, I don't believe that shit. And you're like, well, I believe it. And this is how you either succumb to that doubt or you reinforce the belief. The reward for reinforcing the belief, you see it supernaturally manifest into your reality. And of course, the cycles integrate how much more on point this happens. So this happening at 0 degrees is now going to be at a heightened quality by the time we're going through these squares a year from now and a year and a half from now at the final degrees. Okay. Because then we have the moon squares to Neptune that have been happening since 2012 that we're at the end of. So once the moon starts to square Neptune, this is going to be the process coming into the middle of the week where your perception around the true understanding of this supernatural transformation you are experiencing, you are coming into an understanding mentally of how to think of it because you're experiencing, oh, wow, my senses are being stretched out. The Neptune disillusionment with the moon in Gemini is going to help you see through and beyond the physical, just like when the moon is in Sagittarius. But before you see through it, you're going to gain the intellectual programming with which you can, with that coding, see what you see. It's creating the language subconsciously, by the way. So very important. This moon in Gemini can really go over your heads. So the moon in Cancer is going to reinforce that thought process as it ascends this glorious grand water trine to now move in the direction that you've been thinking of how to see this. And this is going to enable you to feel so gloriously the nature of this transformation. This is where you're going to see through how authentically and sincerely you feel. Those personal emotions that are now breaking through the harvest of this transit, as you now feel the nature of this extra dimensional Taurus full moon harvested energy, one is not only going to have you feel the supernatural power, but because the sun is now entering the second decan, it is completing the 180-degree opposition that we started at the end of April 2023. That 0-degree conjunction with Aries is now complete with this opposition, and that's it. That was a 6-month loading screen that at this date is done at the completion of this Scorpio season transit. And you're going to feel it, and you're going to see it, and it's going to be wicked awesome. And you have to think that it's just the beginning of a 60-day, 90-day harvest, actually. So this is going to set off a 90-day harvest right now. That is huge. This is now talking about beginning to harvest the evolution of your consciousness. So ever since April, I want you to comment personally an exclamation mark if you've experienced a heightened quality in nature of your abilities, things you were able to do a decade ago that you do so much greater. If you've had glimpses of supernatural parts of yourself making themselves known, but you didn't necessarily have the wisdom to know how to really fully integrate and harvest this. Okay. For those of you who are commenting exclamation mark, this is the date. This is the date where officially you have fully harvested these seeds. You're no longer really confused about how to use this because you stepped into that direction. You are now coming into the beginning of living those full glimpses. Please understand that by February, you are now coming into the full knowledge of everything that you've been harvesting. But Scorpio is really this first breakthrough of really realizing, oh, wow, I have completely leveled up. You are now aware of the harvest of this evolution relative to 6 months ago where you were just sowing the seeds of it. And I really want you to not only continue to get excited, but congratulate yourself. Some of you were out on a limb by yourself or with limited resources, having to literally stand up to literal demons and devils to maintain what you have. The best analogy of this is the government wanted to buy your land and they're offering you this price and you don't want to sell it. You're like, nah. And like, it's just an unimpressive small patch of land. No offense. Like, there's nothing about it that seems that impressive. People are telling you, dude, take the money. It's a life-changing amount of money. You were able to convince the government to offer you $5 million. And people are looking at you crazy because you're building your ark. You're like, nope, I will never sell this land. Nope, nope, I'm not going to sell this land. I'm not going to sell this land. And now you realize, or sorry, you've been realized, now you're able to produce the fruits of this land and show the government or show people, hey, this land has oil in it that makes it worth 50 billion. So if you gonna offer me 5 million, but now if you told them this when you were planting those seeds, they would have laughed at you. The process to now prove this and bring this up is complete. You've harvested it. So, and this can apply to stuff that you built in the land. That's the craziest part too. It doesn't have to really be in a sense where you just got lucky and you're in the right place. You built that value into the land. So it's yours. Okay. And now that's it, guys. This is where you're going to very powerfully become aware of this. And with Mars and with Mercury at present, your brain and now the actions you are taking are transformed in their reflection of this transformational victory. This I told you so tour, this evolution. So what we will find is that now the second decade of this transit, okay, is going to conclude the Scorpio season transit in order to activate this new cycle. All right. Now that we are harvesting this energy, we're getting ready to activate a new cycle of transformation and purity. That's going to be what activates the transformation. Everything up until now is harvesting the energy required to actually pull off the transformation, okay, to complete and set off this new transformation of our beings. So what we're going to see here is as the sun goes through the second decan, Venus is making its way out of Virgo and Mercury opposes Uranus, okay, and the sun begins to catch up with Mars. Boom. And there we go. Once we're at the new, so the second decan is going to set up the new moon gloriously, guys. This new moon is going to be opposite Uranus. And this is where it's bombs away for sure. This is where you're going to understand the true meaning of unconventional. It's not really just like a conjunction that is sowing seeds. This is now, of course, harvesting it with the god of war. Okay, thank you. I have a 11th house Pisces empty. I only have like Isis in it, asteroid. But yeah, basically, this full moon is what's going to this is so gangster. It's going to activate the transformation of the sudden awakening of latent energy in your body. This is what's going to really translate at now the third decade, guys, the hyper supernatural quality of your unique and innate gifts and talents. And it's more awesome than you can even imagine. Okay, it's also beginning to set up the trine for the third decade. Now, the second decade, once again, is giving us this perspective. This perspective being given while the moon goes through Leo, goes through Virgo, goes through Libra, is what's going to now take the harvesting of this energy individually. And we're going to complete the transit by integrating it socially, understanding how we interface with that with other people. Boom. Then we come into the new moon, the third decade of full understanding. And this is where it's going to get super saucy, guys. This is the god of war. So this is going to kind of inspire very unexpected strikes or actions on your part and from people towards you. So this is going to now activate the perhaps most intense and saucy, purest new moon we've had in a while. The opposition of Uranus is going to, with the buffer of Jupiter, enhance unconventional dynamics in your relationships with people because now you're interfacing new superpowers. Like this is the complete harvest of these new Libra South Node superpowers. So you're getting ready to intensify them to the next level. That's this transformation. And this setup is going to bring up every unconventional parallel and narrative that has ever been brought up. It's going to get ready to transform the situation. And that's what's so revolutionary about this. It's this new moon that's going to be heavily responsible with Saturn, that at this point is direct, guys. The new moon is bringing in the end of the world. This is what's going to transform the dynamics of it being weird for you to be in like supernatural or spiritual gifts. This is where it's going to be like, you don't believe in this, you don't have that, you're weird. And that's going to be that like parallel. It's not just like a straight line. This ends and this begins. It's like, while this is ending, this is parallel beginning. And it's a fog. It's a fog. In that Neptune Pisces fog, these people don't know that they're truly on their way out. They still think they're hot shit. And they're not going to understand why you're here to stay. And then that fog is going to lift and they're going to be disillusioned, but hopefully it's not too late for them. Okay. And this is where, if you don't personally really accept this transformation you've set up, you could really give in to false propaganda against you from people who do not know you, and kind of getting your own way. But that's not what's going to happen. We about to power up in this bitch. So the beautiful thing about this, okay, is personally, the third decan here now is going to bring the activation of this new transformation, the immediate ascended perspective and manifestation of this change of your physiology. So just like now that the moon is in Gemini and we're setting up this activation, you are right now coding the programming. Okay, this is how oh my gosh, I'm starting to see a ghost. Okay, this is actually what's happening. This is my brain producing an illusion because I'm sensing another frequency, or this is an actual ghost. This is how to think of it. Because now when the moon is in Sag and you click it on, you're going to understand the programming you've coded. Oh, this is what it looks like. Oh, that's what this looks like. Oh, that's what these thoughts like. Boom. And in between that is the moon in Virgo, second decan. And that second decan is going to take what you're programming right now, and it's going to start to analyze it. This is how this way of thinking works in this situation. This is how it works in this situation. Analyze, 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 mastery. And then boom, the moon in Sag is going to be super iconic because it's going to revisit Saturn that doesn't believe in your dreams. And you're going to show it, hey, looks like I did know what I was talking about again. And don't worry, you're going to do this again in 28 days. So personally, all right, we do have now the conjunction to Mars, which is very important. This is now kicking off the once in, I think, 2 years Sun-Mars conjunction. Regardless, this is what's going to bring you to an awareness of where your desire has been leading you. This is also going to be quincunx the nodes. So it's going to very fundamentally influence the state of your destiny, because now that you are applying this active, Mars is really going to be the action that says action with the director, and you're going to be aware of what you are actively intensifying in your desire, in your action. And Mercury is already ahead, giving you bigger picture ideas of this is what this can mean, this is what that can mean. Cool. So this is where the quincunx to the North Node is applying. I've already activated these superpowers. Now I'm intensifying what I can do with it. And this is what's going to give you a different perspective of how to approach what just a month ago you realized you had to do. Okay, it's like, I realized that in 6 months, I'm going to be called to perhaps do this for my community or do this for myself. And then now at the new moon, it's like, oh, wow, since I've come to this realization, now I've come into like 5 jetpacks and so much more resources. So now this is going to transform a little bit how I approach what I still know I have to do. And by the time we're in Sagittarius season, you're going to come into a huge ascended perspective of, oh, this is how creatively I can work this. And we're going to get closer to that. All right. So the trine to Neptune here is also going to be super illuminating. because this is what's going to, while the moon is squaring Venus in Libra, connect you directly to the astral realm of your imagination and peer into, through your imagination, all the possibilities that draw the creativity of this transformation state you are not only activating, but with the moon in Capricorn, you're going to fundamentally understand the utilization of this new perspective, of this new habit, and of this new transformation, of this new essence and quality of energy. How to utilize this in ways that with Venus and Libra are fundamentally impacting every single relationship. Then we have the moon that's going to go over Pluto, deeply activate this new 28-day cycle of awakening. And then, of course, we're going to have the moon travel. And the cool thing is the sun is traveling with Mars. The moon in Aquarius is what's going to revisit the beginning of this transit. And it's going to now provide, coming into this first quarter square, because we usually ended the transit with the first quarter square. And now we're going to end the transit. We're going to start the transit with the trine. So this is already going to shift things even more. Just to give you context, the last 3 months, we started the transit off with a square. And that's because now the cycles are gradually stretching out. So now it looks like the next couple of months, we're going to start the transit off with a trine. That means like Sag season and Cap season are going to start off very creative, very drawing up out our potential. So the moon in Aquarius is going to conclude Scorpio season by helping you understand advanced knowledge of concepts that were introduced to you 7 days ago. So it's like going through a supernatural, it's like going through a transformation class. And like at the very beginning of this class 7 days ago, you are introduced to concepts post-transformation. Like, okay, you're flying, you're teleporting, you're having telepathy with people, and like you haven't transformed yet. So you don't know how to really imagine it. Boom, you go through this whole transformation process. And now at the end of November, you're introduced these concepts again. Now that you've transformed into the being that is more understanding of these principles, and it is deepening this knowledgeable understanding. It's like, oh, that's what you meant when you introduced it. That's what you meant when you introduced that. That's what you meant when you introduced that. And now with that knowledge, this is going to have us in Pisces season come into, I think, one of the most significant realizations relative to the maximum understanding of the belief we have in ourselves and how it is totally changing in light of us no longer being the same person we were 6 months ago, if not 6 years ago. It's going to open up a lot of possibility, but it's a very controversial, I think, part of the transit that, of course, now leads into the 0 degree trine. And I want to show you how in a month from now, we're going to have that again. The moon is going to be 8 degrees just coming into Taurus at 0 degrees. So the next 2 months, look at that, Mercury retrograde. So like things are about to, there's a perspective we're going to come into the end of the year with that we're going to come out the end of the year with completely different. And you know why? That's because it's the I told you so tour. It's the effects of the I told you so tour. It's like, well, people now are going to have to reevaluate what was status quo because we just fundamentally, individually, collectively, through our own individual experience, transformed and killed the old status quo with our existence, with our actions, with our receipts. All right. And ladies and gentlemen, that in a nutshell is a very amazing way to see, of course, this Scorpio season. We've gone over the mathematics. Now, Scorpio season deals with other people. And the Taurus opposition to Scorpio is going to, in your dealings with other people, bear forth your natural, unconventional quality and what you bring to the table in any relationship and the results therefore. It's going to, of course, have you circumnavigate the shady social avenues of others who leverage false value in order to have more control over you or to undermine your value. you're going to say GTFOH with all that BS, and you're going to establish the unconventional nature of your value that 6 months ago might have looked crazy to other people, but now looks makes way more sense. Doesn't mean it makes sense, but it just makes way more sense now than it ever did 6 months ago. What you're getting ready to experience is a hyper accelerated quality of your development and evolution over the next 4 months that will literally feel like you're on a roller coaster ride. And you really want to have as much fun with this as you can. Libra season was the beginning of breakthrough, but Scorpio season is really going to be it's really going to be what hits this. And a lot of that is because of the opposition to the major, Taurus energy. And then, of course, the trine to Neptune is what's going to provide such deep psychological understanding of metaphysical principles and concepts that literally transform your understanding of it, because your body is literally transforming and what you can sense and experience is literally enhancing. The next part I want to talk about this are supernatural psychic attacks, metaphysical entities like sex ghosts, and demon possessed individuals who are conscious of their demon possession or not conscious of their demon possession being used as agents to kill you, to knock you off path, to distract you. This Scorpio season is going to apply this transformation in Apotheosis so that you fundamentally lay the smack down. Like, this is why the 8th house in Scorpio is boundary drawings. We already made our agreements with Libra in the relationships. So now the boundaries relative to our values have to be enforced here. And this is what's going to test how well you really express this, even in the face of people who you may stand to gain things from. Are you going to compromise those values because you want to be fake to gain some stuff? You're going to see people doing that more than ever. You're going to see people sticking to their guns. So this is where personally the exaggerated quality of your evolution is going to immediately be seen in the quality of your relationships with other people, and the boundaries that you draw are going to, of course, initialize the foundation with which you will be clapping back and literally murking fools. This is like right now, we are at 7 degrees. Okay. In 3 days, once the sun opposes Jupiter, you are going to be murking anybody in your path. You're literally going to establish your boundaries, and anyone who crosses the line, you're going to mercilessly be murking. And in between these 3 days is such a dramatic transformation in your psyche that you might think you might be dealing with some people right now, and you already know how they're taking advantage of you. And you might be like, okay, this person just doesn't understand. This person is just not woke, or this person just needs to learn. And in a few short days, you're going to realize the extent to which these people treat you. And you're going to be like, bitch, you're dead. Bye. Boom. Like, it's over. You're not a violent person. I'm not saying that you're losing control. It's like, no, the respect you have for yourself to stand up for what you're worth is going to have you go to war for yourself, even against people who you might feel are supposed to be, close or family or people unrelated to you. So just really keep that in mind. It's going to be very dramatic, and it's going to be so exhilarating. It's only going to be uncomfortable if you are not comfortable with who you are. If you have not accepted that you are now at a level beyond wherever you were, and if you have not accepted that you are a lord and creator of your own experience and perception, right? If you haven't accepted the growth that you have done, you're going to allow other people to define what that is for you. And a lot of people are jealous of you and envious of you. So they're not going to define this of you very neatly. Now, don't take my word for that. See over the next 7 days how a lot of people are jealous and envious. This is going to be revealed. Like there's so much layers and nuance that you felt coming into July that you're going to be aware of fully. Like, oh, I was right about this. I was right about that. I was right about this. I told you so. Thank you guys for joining me during this monthly peace report. I had to, go a little bit overtime because I'm very passionate about this transit. I think this is really going to this in Sagittarius season is going to take the cake, and the conclusion saga, of course, season 4 is going to be even doper. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to this. I want you to really contemplate the mechanics of everything you have ever been taught fundamentally relative to your physicality and how personally you live your life. I want you to continue to open up to the fact that you've been lied to your whole life, and not all of it was malicious, but it is setting you up to accept the wisdom that you are, of course, experiencing with your metaphysical spirit self, and the transformation that's going to align you together. Your super self is now taking that spirit self and your natural self and combining them together to maximize the efficiency of both. And now you're transforming that super self. And so this is going to be like riding a vehicle that has enhancements that aren't even regulated yet by the government. Very, very, very interesting and very, very, very controversial. So thank you guys once again for joining. I have 2 live stream Hypsia requests. Okay, so I'm going to read the tarot. Before you guys leave, I'm going to pull 3 tarot cards for you personally, and then I'm going to get into the tarot reading for Jamie and Christian. For those of you who would like a tarot card reading yourself or a live reading, please click the description link below and I will do a personal live reading for you. Otherwise, you can, of course, catch the replay if you are an Infinity Club member, and stay tuned for tomorrow, because now we will break down what this means for the fire signs: Aries rising, Aries sun, Leo rising, Leo sun, Sag rising, Sag sun, tomorrow. Okay, so the underlying theme of this season that we're picking up collectively for you is the 2 of Wands. The 2 of Wands is the definition of your desire. It is recognizing you have options and you are coming into the understanding of what you want. The 2 of Wands is such a beautiful card because you have the Ace of Wands, which is that spark of desire. It's that new idea, like, this is what I want to do, right? And then you have the 3 of Wands, this is the plan to make this happen. These are the long-term plans. So the 2 of Wands is, okay, what do you want to do? What really is it, though? Okay, relative to personally what it is you want to move in that direction, what is it that you really like? What is it that you really want? The 2 of Wands is going to have you feel into this personal sense of power in a way that you haven't had before, especially if you felt like your options were limited. And this is very important because it's going to give you an outlook, thank you, Creators Chronicles, to very powerfully understand in a certain level more the direction you want to take things. And it's going to really help you unlock your personal sense of, stability and success. Now, the main cards we have are Death. I can't make this up. This is literally a Scorpio season 2023 reading. And you saw me shuffle this, and the first card I pull is literally Scorpio, literally Death. So this is it, guys. This is the supernatural transformational apotheosis. Do you think I give a single fuck that idiots out here treat me like I'm a fraud? Do you think that I care that people really believe that I am some pseudoscientist? Do you think that I care that there are people who apply this false sense of elitism because they feel like what I'm doing is bullshit, and they know that I don't even pay attention to them? My work speaks for itself. I am too busy pioneering and innovating this experience like you are to really slow down and argue with people who are going to inevitably catch up and get it later. It is what it is. And this is what that death card represents, the focus on what it is you're building and you being in a position to really facilitate not only this transformation, but the end of this old cycle, the end of this past life, the end of these old habits, and the beginning of something amazing. Now we do have the Five of Cups. The Five of Cups is a card of mourning and disappointment. This is even deeper when you look that the story behind this card kind of has to do with well, actually it's not the story behind it, but Marowak, there's a storyline with Marowak where I think they lost their parent or their mother or something like that. The Five of Cups, could you be mourning a loss? But really the Five of Cups is going to be this sense of the empty space that your old habits used to rely on is now no longer able to really rely on these old habits, and it's mourning the old part of yourself. It's mourning yourself, but it's more so more it's the feeling that I get with this is like, because you've transformed, there are certain habits you used to be able to fall back on that you can't fall back on. So it's like that part of yourself mourning not being able to be held back, and now to move forward. The Five of Cups on the surface seems like this can carry a very depressing tone with this, but really it's a mature understanding of feelings and emotions that you personally left unchecked. And it's like you're finally coming into consolidation and some sense of closure to where you're ready to kind of accept it, but also move on from it. And this is beautiful. Two cards literally hopped out. Oh my God. I'm going to show you the two cards that hopped out. The next card, the final card we have is the Two of Pentacles. So the Two of Pentacles is talking about being able to take this transformation and move forward. And this is beautiful because we have the Two of Wands. And look at what's under the Two of Wands. This is really important. I have chills all over my body. The Two of Wands in the natural tarot is a man with the world in his hands. And look at what's under this, the world. So this is literally solidifying your own personal position in the world. Four of Pentacles, this is having you step into this sense of stability that might kind of come unexpectedly because of the work you've done. So the Two of Pentacles is being able to balance new income streams. It's you being able to play with your work and play with your money. And the reason why this is so amazing that these next two cards fell out is because the next card we have here is the Ten of Pentacles. So the Two of Pentacles is literally leading into wealth, whether passive or active, and that leads to the High Priestess coming into that third decade moon understanding of everything that's occurred. So with the Five of Cups, some of you can experience that as a painful loss, and know that that painful loss is leading the way to, once again, this new tradition and cycle of wealth and abundance, but not just in a physical sense, right? I don't really get the sense that this is going to be a physical loss for someone. I feel like this is going to be the end of what you used to do, the end of who you used to be, amongst other things. Okay. So, all right. Before I do the tarot cards, Megan, I'm going to read your chart, Creators Chronicles. Let us not forget you have a super amazing chart, born in 87. You have the Sun, Jupiter, and North Node in Aries, which is so important because now this North Node Aries chapter is reinitiating the destiny path you were destined to walk on since you were born. It's just, of course, the first part of it as we grow up as late bloomers was to set everything up. Going on a mini quest, for example, to have the child that you had, which I think you were destined to bring in, and to use yourself as the resource to help scout people's talent, because you are an artist yourself, and to take the balance of your personality here. But Sun, Jupiter, North Node, Aries is so powerful. You're a god. Like, just like Kanye West said he's a god because he has Jupiter on his sun, whether he knows that's why he said it, you represent that principle of expansion. MVP in the UFC has Jupiter on his sun too. And this expanding precedent with the evolution of what you did in August to expand your relationships, a new cycle of partnerships. You're harvesting that. Now the sun is in personally your second house. So this is going to manifest itself in money. You're about to be making it rain even more. Specifically, and I love that about your chart. Your moon is exalted and your sun is exalted. Your moon in Taurus. So this is really important because as a Libra rising, you understand who to invest your money in. This is so pimp. Taurus is your second house as an Aries. So the money that you make is now in your 8th house. The money you manifest as a Taurus, you understand in your 8th house who to invest it into. And that's what you did 6 months ago. And that's where personally, all right, now in Scorpio season, you're returning on that investment. And now you're taking your awareness of who you're trusting with what you have manifested, or you're coming back to these investments and you're picking off from those grapes. So this is going to be a very amazing second house transit for you. You're going to start the cycle of transforming your wisdom around what you're worth, being aware of all this wisdom relative to who to deal with. And now the key thing, especially for those of you born in the late 80s, because you have Uranus and Saturn and Sagittarius, a lot of these mutable criticism, a lot of these mutable fluctuations with the Saturn and Pisces, whereas a lot of other people are going to have to come into the insight to put the pieces together, you already see it. You already understand it. You already know what's happening. And this is where personally, okay, this is going to complete a lot of things that you were made to feel quite literally insane about. And coming into Sagittarius season, it's going to really confirm a lot of what even initiated you to take that. I feel like coming into April, you took a lot of action off of faith too. And like you may not have been fully aware of why you reacted and did certain things that now in the moment are coming into so much more greater perspective than could have ever been possible or imagined. Okay. So that's also really beautiful too. And yeah, Megan, I'm very excited for you. I hope you really enjoy this. Once again, personally, knowing that now the major planets are rounding through your first and the eclipse has already occurred on your first, it's really showtime. It's ready for you over the next 6 months to really bring this towards other people. All right. So Jamie asked a really good question. Okay, that's how it is. Jamie asked a really good question. Basically, how do I do this? Oh, so yeah, I'm supposed to do that. Oops, I forgot. Okay. So basically, but that's cool. That's cool. It doesn't matter. So basically, Jamie, you asked a very interesting question because the model of this question we want to see reflected relative to what I'm going to do with the tarot, Giselle, no problem, and what you've already done. Because the fact that you're asking this question, you've already answered it, and this is really good. The fact that you're even conscious of this. I'm divorced a few years and have begun a relationship, 4 months now, but I'm not sure if she's the right one for me because I can already sense problems in the relationship. Should I invest in it and make it work? Or is she not the right woman for me? And this is where, Jamie, you kind of already answered the question. Like, I can pull a tarot card that will give me, I could say you should do it or you shouldn't do it, but it's more important for me to make sure we illustrate you already have an idea. Personally, the time you want to know whether it's worth it to invest more time, but you're going to invest a little bit more time anyway. So you're already going to come into an understanding of if you want to deal with these red flags or not. What I'm picking up personally is that now you're kind of in that position for the rockiness to uproot weeds, and things are coming rocky so that you can see whether you can integrate it. And personally, I feel like it's worth investing to see if the red flags integrate through your shared influence on each other, or if they get worse. Okay, relative to what we pick up with the tarot and what we see here. Yep, we do have the Ace of Cups. So the Ace of Cups is saying that the way there's going to be renewal, there's going to be forgiveness, whether on your part or her part. I do get the sense, or your partner's part, I do get the sense that either like you're both going to come to each other and fall in love with each other all over again. You're going to address maybe the things you don't like, and it's going to bring forgiveness on one or both ends. And the Ace of Cups is saying, even though you've been together for 4 months, there is a renewal coming into the relationship where you're coming to understand each other like new, as you've kind of been able to drop certain guards and get to understand each other. And we do have the Lovers. Bro, oh my God. Yo, we really do this tarot shit. I cannot make this up. You see me shuffle this, bro. We do have the Lovers and the Ace of Cups. So this is saying that first of all, if it doesn't work with this woman, you're about to meet your soulmate and they're going to be new. But I really do believe that this is saying, yeah, you should invest in it. There's going to be renewal, and the Lovers card is going to be so much more of you finally, being used to each other for 4 months. It's like now things can really kick off. I can't make this up. This is amazing. If for some reason it doesn't work out with this woman, it's saying that this season you're going to come into a new relationship with your soulmate. Okay, that was beautiful. That was so wild. I love how it directly answered. It really spoke to the situation. All right, Christian Dixie. Scorpio season pool. All right, shout out to the king. We know that Scorpio season for you too, you're going to be aware of in your 10th, but it's in your 4th. So this is going to transform your comfort zone with success and how comfortable you are being more, coming into greater success. I think it's less about being more known and more about what you're accomplishing. So the underlying theme we have here is the 7 of Cups. This is you zen the F out. It's like literally you're in this 3D reality, but you're tapped into phenomena literally beyond this one. And your imagination is vivid. This is like and I feel like for you, it's like being able to be on drugs without being on drugs. It's like very, very, very a thing with this is the underlying theme. So the 7 of Cups is creative visualization, escapism, brainstorming. But in this case, these are altered states. And the vision that I had this for you is like, this is like your higher self, but it's also you here. It's you here, but it's like you're blanked out and you're picking up the information crystallized before the rest of the collective gets it. So there's a traditional meaning of this card, but given the psychic nature of this, you're really going to be tuning beyond. All right. A lot of what you experience is going to be, I think, influenced by that. And the main card that we have for you is the 9 of Pentacles. Bro, I cannot make this up. So the 7 of Cups also comes up when we think things are too good to be true. And also, everything that doesn't go. But the main card we have for you is Venus and Virgo. You're going to be rich. You're going to be super rich. You're going to be rolling in dough. This is you breaking through financially independent income, bro. And this is you, having more extra money to spend. I mean, you spun the block and you won an infinity on Wheel of Fortune. So I know you out here doing whatever you want, clearly. So it is what it is. I'm not even going to front. Like that's what's up, B. But that 9 of Pentacles, I think, is so awesome. I think it's so reassuring. I think it's all right, cool. I think it's in a position to realistically, enrich a lot of the projects you're doing. So thank you guys for tuning in. Echoist Expression, this will be available for Infinity Club members? All right, great question. For those of you who want the replay, you will be able to access this during if you have an Infinity Club membership. Now, here's what we can do. Yeah. So, if anyone wants a live reading, I'm about to head out of here. Okay. If not, I'm just gonna dip. But you guys stay blessed as always. I really enjoyed this. This was fun per usual. And yeah, this was definitely another banger relative to this quality of transformation. I know you're going to make the most of it, and I just want to continue to congratulate you in advance. All right. You guys stay blessed as always. And until next time, peace.